In this video, we will see about the imposition and expansion of the Spanish language in Spain. This video will conclude our series of videos of the module on history of the Spanish language. So now, back in Europe and the Iberian Peninsula, we know that Spanish, Castilian, originated in the Kingdom of Castile. So, why or how was Castilian spread outside of the territories conquered by the Kingdom of Castile? And why it is also spoken and official in the Catalan, Basque, and Galician-speaking territories. As you might remember, in 1469, the King of Aragon, Ferdinand, and the Queen of Castile, Isabella, got married. However, the two kingdoms kept their own self-governing institutions and their own laws, and had their own languages. The King Charles II died without descendants. That happened in the year 1700. So that produced a dynastic crisis. That meant who would be the next king? Castilians wanted Philip, who was a member of the Bourbon dynastic family, while Catalans, who were under the Kingdom of Aragon, wanted Charles, a member of another dynastic family in Europe called the Habsburg. Other European countries weighed in. Philip was supported by the French, and Charles was supported by England and Holland. So, to solve this succession crisis, there was a succession war which began in the year 1700 to impose a new king. The war ended in 1714 when the city of Barcelona surrendered after a long siege. Philip, from the dynastic family of the Bourbons, became the new king of Spain, Philip V. If you recall, the Catalans had been fighting in favor of the other candidate against Philip. As retaliation, Philip V established the Nueva Planta Decrees, which abolished all forms of self-government, and Spain now becomes a unified kingdom. With the unification of Spain and the abolishment of the self-governing laws and other Christian kingdoms, the other languages spoken in Spain are also prosecuted. Let's see, for example, the example of Catalan. Here we can see some examples. We have this ruling in the year 1760 that reads, "We order that all monks speak among themselves and others in Castilian or in Latin under penalty of bread and water every time they have a conversation in Catalan." So another example, in 1768, it becomes illegal to print new books in Catalan, and no theater in Spain is allowed to represent any theatrical pieces in any language other than Spanish. A few years later, in 1828, it is established that all Baptist forms must be done in Castilian, the Castilian language. In 1837, another example, kids who are caught speaking Catalan in school will wear a ring and give it to the next kid being heard in Catalan. At the end of the week, the kid with the ring will be punished. Just another example, in 1838, we find a prohibition to write epitaphs in Catalan in the cemeteries. The imposition of Spanish in Spain is so strong that the representatives of the Catalan-speaking areas complained by saying, "In the Indians," meaning the Americas, where indigenous people still don't know their religion, the monks must understand and speak the language of their congregation. And it has to be the Catalan farmers in a worse condition than the Indians. It will be so convenient that the monks spoke the language of their congregation both in the Americas and in Spain. Even more being the case that it's those farmers who support the monks with their sweat. So these are just a few examples of how the Castilian Spanish was imposed both in America, in the American continent, and also in Spain.